Hey there AOS fans, it's me, Pete. Now you've recently watched a match where I played against Robin and we did a best of 3 in preparation for the Grand Clash. I was Sepulchral, he was Stormcast, and it did not go well. If you haven't watched it, do go and watch it because there will be spoilers from here on out. So, spoilers are, I did terrible. I had to do alright in the first game, I lost the second game, I got annihilated in the third game, and frankly I deserved it. So, what am I going to do? Well, I'm not going to throw down my Sepulchral Guard just yet, although when the Skaven arrive I will be interested to see just how they look. But at the moment I've been looking through my deck and I'm trying to decide what I want to do to try and make it a bit more competitive. So to that end, I've got rid of a few cards, I've added in a few new cards, and I'm just going to show you what I've now got as my current deck. So, of my objectives, I have got rid of the following 2 cards. I have eliminated Flawless Strategy. The main reason for that is it's a great objective if things are going well, and it's a horrible objective if things are going badly. And for that reason, I'm getting rid of that one in the hopes that the rest of my cards, if I'm having a bit of a mixed bag of it, it won't be so reliant on me already doing well. And the other card I'm getting rid of is Claim the City. Because why? Because it sucks. I think at the end of the third match, Robin and I had a long discussion about Claim the City, and I really did think that I'd be able to do better with it than I did, but I did not. It's a horrible card. I'm never going to pick it ever again. Be great if you were Khorne, maybe, or Skaven when they come along, because they're fast and they'll be able to do that kind of thing, but no, not for me, I don't think so. Claim the City is out. And what am I replacing that with? Well, I'm replacing them with Victorious Jewel. Now, Victorious Jewel, I've considered before and didn't put in because I thought my guys just aren't going to have the stabbiness for it. But on reflection, the Warden does get pretty tasty once he gets inspired. The Warden inspired rolls 3 hammers and does 3 damage, which is pretty good on its own. If I have a +1 damage on him, that would be 4. If I can get somebody who's already injured from, say, the champion or somebody else beforehand, and then the Warden can come in and finish him off, well, that's 2 glory, and obviously it has to go after the leader, and that'll just be the icing on the cake if I can do that. It's also a score immediately card, which means, well, obviously I'll score the glory midway through a turn, which could be handy if I've got some upgrades I want to play. And the other card I took as almost a filler is Hold Objective 5. Now the reason why I've done that is because I have Supremacy, which is Hold 3 objectives, I have some Tactical Supremacy 1, 2 and 3, 4. And that kind of leaves me in a position where I want to go after objectives. So I figured I'd go for objective number 5, because then that means that if 5's in my half, I don't have to worry about it not being one of the objectives I'm after, so I'm trying to spread my bets a little bit. So that's what I've gone with as my replacements, and as a quick reminder on my other cards, like I say, I have Determined Defender, which is hold something for 2 turns, which should be easy as long as I get it early enough. Supremacy, which again should be easy as long as I don't get it too late in the game. Tactical Supremacy 1 and 2, and Tactical Supremacy 3 and 4, because I just like these cards over the standard hold Objective X cards, because that means I can maximise the cards in my deck, and it also means I get the maximum number of glory from each time I get an objective, so 2 instead of 1. I've got Superior Tactician. I have Battle Without End, because that's one that I can usually score without having to worry about what my opponent's going to do to me. In fact, the more they're offensive they are towards me, the better. March of the Dead. That's one I'm still not 100% sure on. But I'm keeping hold of it because I think it's still, for the most part, fairly easy to score as long as you don't get it too late in the day and everybody's dead. Ploy Master. Skills Unforgotten, which will now go quite nicely with my Victorious Jewel, hopefully. I could possibly get 4 glory just for killing 1 guy. And Divide and Conquer. Now, Divide and Conquer is the only other one in the deck that I'm still not 100% sold on yet. But then I realised the game I played against Robin, he's mostly playing an offensive in-your-face Stormcast deck, and that means he's always going to be on my side. If I come up against a Khorne player, or a Sepulchral Guard player who's playing a bit more defensively, that might be easier for me to score. So I'm going to keep it in for now and see how it goes. So those are my objectives changed. Now to move on to my ploys. So I'm getting rid of a ploy, and I'm getting rid of Fortify. I used it once in one game, I think, and in that one game I had 2 defense dice. I'd already buffed the guy up to use shields as well, and then Robin went ahead and rolled 2 crits. Now I know that's bad luck, and that's very unlikely to happen again, but it did make me realise that for the most part, Robin or anybody who's offensive, they're not going to go after the people on the objectives for the most part. They're going to go for whoever's closest. And as I'm going to put the objectives further back in my half, it's less likely that they're going to be attacked. So I decided to get rid of Fortify, and I've got some new shinies, and the new shinies are Jewel of Wits. Robin had this in his deck, and I think I like the fact that it enables you to get more of your cards into your hand, which gives you a bit more utility. It also enables you to cycle through your deck a bit more. I've also got Shifting Shards, because it's just helpful getting an objective one hex closer, especially if it gets buried under a shard fall. Robin, I hate you for that. And I've also picked Trust to Luck, which is discard any number of power cards that you've got in your hand and draw that many again. Now, I've picked that one because if you've already been lucky enough to get Jewel of Wits as well, you could have quite a handful of cards, and they could all be tosh, and this will help you hopefully filter out a lot of that, cycle through your deck, and pick stuff up that you need sooner. But Pete, I hear you say, that's 3 cards in and 1 card out. Yes, I currently have a 24 card deck. Now, I'm not sure if bigger is better, but we shall find out, and I'm going to be running with it in the next game just to see whether 24 cards does make that much difference. 20 over 24, does it make a huge difference to the odds? Well, it means your odds of getting the cards you want goes from 5% to 4% on the initial draw. I think I can live with that. I'm not too fazed by that small drop, but we'll see. The other cards I've got in my deck, just to remind you all, are Restless Dead, to bring someone back, helpful for one of my objectives, the Battle Without End objective. Confusion, Sprint, both of those because manoeuvrability is something key to me. The Necromancer commands, which will be hopefully useful if I decide to attack with the Warden against somebody and I need to re-roll that attack, because if I can get off Victorious Duel, Skills Unforgotten, then that will be a possible 4 glory. It's always going to be worth a re-roll on that one. Terrifying Screams, push someone off an objective or back into their half, which might help them with Divide and Conquer. Healing Potion, one for the Warden only next time, I'm not using it on anybody else. Dance Macabre, this one will be handy for manoeuvrability, and hopefully I can get it in with my my upgrade of, I can't remember, Peerless, the General, I can't remember it, I'll flash it up on the screen anyway because I'm an idiot. And if I can move 3 people and they each get +1 movement, especially if some of my guys are already inspired, that means they'll be moving 4 hexes, that makes them pretty speedy all of a sudden. Sidestep, always handy to be able to push one of your guys another hex, especially if it's on the last turn of the game and you need to shove them onto an objective maybe, or into the opponent's half. And Daylight Robbery. Love this card. I've played it 4 times, it's worked twice. I've got good odds on it. It's done me proud so far, and I'm keeping it in there. It's a fun card. So onto my upgrades, what I'm going to spend all of that luscious glory on. Well, I've made a small change here as well, and I've got rid of Grim Cleave from my deck. The reason for that is, it gives my Harvester Cleave. Now that's well and good, but he's still rolling 2 dice and needs swords, which isn't awesome. So I decided to keep the Harvester doing what he does best, which is to go after Chafe. If I'm up against Sepulchral Guard, if I'm up against Khorne, then he's going to be front and centre, and I'm going to be swinging him around. If not, he's going to be a filler, he's going to be backup, he's going to be someone who's going to try and assist when the Warden and the Champion are going to do their thing, because the Champion's Cleave really is tasty. So that's what's out, and what's in. So what's in is Shadeglass Sword. I picked that one because some of my guys could really use the extra damage sometimes, and if I put it on someone it makes them another tasty target for my opponent, might draw the attention away from somewhere else, and if nothing else it's possibly almost 3 damage because it's 3 hammers, and on a crit you get +1 damage. 3 damage on one of my guys is nothing to be sniffed at. Demonic Weapon, similar reasons. I know one of my guys will take a damage when I use it. I only rolled 2 dice, but it again does 3 damage. And if one of my guys dies when they're using it, then that's no big deal. I can just resurrect them the next time round. That could be useful against Oryx and Stormcast, especially if, especially against Oryx and Stormcast, because the extra damage could really help me out. Third card that I've picked is SHARDCALLER. Now, I think I rubbished this in previous games, and it's still not the best card in the world. The likelihood of you being able to use it more than once is slim. However, once could be all you need, especially if you just need it for Tactical Supremacy 1 and 2, or 3 and 4. If you're unlucky enough to have 2 and 4 objectives both go into your opponent's zone, and Shardcaller could be the saviour when that's around. The other cards I've kept are Great Strength, one for my Warden or my Champion, or possibly on my Halfster if I'm up against Khorne. Frightening Speed, again that's a specific one for Harvester, Champion or Prince, but +2 movement will be very handy. I've used that in other games, put it on my Champion, made him really mobile and quite scary. Shadeglass Dance, again I'm keeping this one because it's the chance of doing 2 damage is quite high, which isn't bad damage for Sepulchral Guard. It's range 3, which is always nice. 3 swords. Ancient Commander, this is obviously the one I'm going to be using in combination with Dance Macabre, hopefully. So yep, enables you to move 3 people instead of 2. Very handy for the March of the Dead objective as well. Great Fortitude, +1 wound, probably, almost definitely going to put that on the Warden, keep him alive longer. Undying, another +1 wound. I'm unlikely to get both come out, and I'm unlikely to play both, but if I do get both and I can play both on my Warden, that'll make him pretty unkillable. Alternatives might be to put it on a Petitioner if they've got the Demonic weapon, and that will help make them that little bit more survivable. And then also have the Shadowed Key and the Dazzling Key. A little extra glory at the end never hurt anybody, especially when Shardcaller now might be a winner for me if I can pull an objective across on the last turn and get those 2 extra glory. And Remembered Shield. Turning my dodges into shields, almost definitely going to go on the Warden, possibly the Champion. So that is my new all-improved and extra scary deck. 24 cards instead of 20. What do you guys think? Is that going to make a massive difference? Obviously I can only get through 15 of my cards if I don't pick any new ones at all at any point, if I burn them all at the end. Is that going to mean that I'm going to really miss out on the cards I want? I don't know, we'll have to see I guess. I'm fairly confident that with 24 cards, if on my initial pick of cards I then have some absolute trash, I'm not going to feel quite so pressured into keeping it because I've got a lot more cards sitting by the way that I could then pull out. So I'm okay with 24 at the minute. The odds go from about 5% to pick out the card I want, obviously, because you've got 20 cards there and you can only pick 5 of them. And it drops to about 4%, just over 4% I think, if you go to 24 cards. Now you might say that's about 20% drop in likelihood of getting the card you want, but I'm going to feel less inhibited to get rid of them, like I say. And I don't know, I just don't think 4 cards is going to make that much difference. Do let me know in the comments below what you think about taking the 24 card deck over 20. And I think the Stormcast guy who won the last tournament had 22, so you know it's not a massive step up from there. But we'll see how it goes. Let me know what you guys think of the deck, whether you think it's a winner or a loser, what you think I should be putting in or taking out, or basically whether you just think I suck and I should probably give up. I'm telling you, whoever I'm up against next time, Robin's going to be bringing a different deck and I don't know what it is. We shall see how my guys do against them, and I'm determined that it's going to be a better show this time round for you guys. So, we'll be seeing you soon. Bye!